What's going on, guys? You got the Cap brothers here on the YouTube, and today we're going to be going through what it's like to submit a scope of work into a hard money lender. Hard money lenders require a few things from you, and one of those is a scope of work because they want to make sure you're actually going to do the work on your property. You're not going to run away with the money. Most people have the question like, well, what does the scope of work look like? What do I need to submit? So we are going to be going through a template that I can happily provide any of you guys. So if you drop a comment, I'll provide this template. If you shoot me a DM on Instagram, I'll happily provide this template. So let's get to it. So here we have different options, right? If you're a licensed contractor, if you're the one doing the work, if you're hiring it out, if you're doing some of the work, hiring it out, if you have a general contractor, when you asked me like, hey, or when you told me like, oh, dude, don't be hiring subcontractors, a little red flag popped up because I was like, dang, like how much, like, because it's you don't know sometimes where a hard money lender may not require or may not allow that to happen if it's too big of a rehab. Luckily, though, after we hung up, I called and they said, no, this looks like a smaller rehab. We should be fine. So in this case, he's, for example, where I wanted to show you, does it say here if these sections right and restrictions, additions, conversions? So this is kind of where we talk about what the project is gonna like, what's gonna happen with the project. This is super critical because this is how you're gonna be paid out. I think I told you before, I don't know if I mentioned it. Like somebody will put redo electrical in the kitchen or something, right? Or redo electrical in the house. Somebody will say that, and then they go and they finish like the kitchen or like the living room, and they expect to be paid out for the whole house. But when the inspector, goes and checks out the house and they're like, hey, dude, you only did the rewiring or the wiring for part of the house. Like, we're not going to pay you on that entire line item. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just something to watch out for as we kind of go through this. All right, let's start filling this out. Actually, I was going to say one more thing. So on the contractor side, basically, depending on the scope of work, they would require a general contractor license. So if you were going to be adding a ton of square footage, or if you were going to be like totally rebuilding like another ADU, like entirely new structure, like ground up construction, things like that, probably they would have required a general contractor license. But in this case, let's talk about the project a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
So it's basically a duplex, one that's going to need the rehab or the renovation is going to be the front house because it has some fire damage. It's the 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, has a kitchen, family area, and formal living area. The area that got the damage the most is going to be the kitchen and the family room area. That's the section that's going to need basically the whole, reconstruction. The only thing that is going to change is going to change some of the structural as far as just roof structural. We're not adding any square footage on this one. Basically, we changed the whole roof and some of it got damaged and it needs a new roof. So it's going to get a whole new roof and basically a nice open floor plan now instead of having a wall in the middle. Just vaulted ceilings now. Save on the cost. Yeah.
Okay.
So among that, I was just explaining you a little bit about the project. So that being said,
Yeah,
the
dude.
fast.
Why not? I might as well type it. You're telling me.
So it's going to be basically now it's going to be a nice open floor plan, just a big kitchen with a big family room. As far as renovations, so it's going to have new kitchen, new lighting, basically just remodeled bathrooms and just new flooring, drywall doors as far as interior wise.
Yeah, that'll be like the one unit, right?
The one unit. Yeah, the back unit, I'm not gonna add anything. Basically, that's just gonna be on me, just paint countertops and flooring. But that's something that I'm gonna take care of on my end. All the
Okay.
money that's gonna be used is gonna be for the front unit, basically. Because the back unit's moving ready. They currently live in the back unit. Yeah. And it's gonna get new electrical for the front house.
What about like AC, heating, ducts, any of that?
So just new ducting. The AC unit's still good. Had the technician go out and check that out. Just new ducting and just service the unit.
So you filled this in already a little bit?
Yeah, you saw that I was filling that in. I was just messing with the numbers a little bit.
You're just messing it in. So, but the square footage is going to stay the same, right?
Yeah, I just put the exact square footage from the front house.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. This we can leave empty, right? That doesn't. There's no basement.
No.
All right. Anticipate time construction 24 weeks. Did you fill this in?
Yeah.
Cool. Will project require current permits? Yes. How long will it take to obtain the permit? Dang, you think it's going to be 5 weeks?
They say four to 6 weeks, so I just put 5 weeks.
5 times 7 will put 35 days. Because here it asks for weeks and here it asks for days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Confusing, dude. No worries.
Yep. Yep.
Will you be adding above ground square footage property? No. Will you be doing any structural work on this property? Yes. What kind of structural work will you be doing?
The roof, basically. The roof rafters.
I don't know if I would consider that structural work though, or what? Why do you consider that structural work? That's just like replacing the roof though.
Well, I'm getting rid of because that's not just replacing the roof because I gotta replace like the wood, the rafters and stuff.
The rafters, okay.
Yeah, that's why I have to pull permits for it because we'll be putting like new rafters, so they're gonna change what size of wood has to go.
Cool. Yeah, and then no foundation work. Yeah, we got some fire damage. Construction bug. Nope, that's a no. All right. So you can see like it kind of there's like these initial pieces, right? You already started to figure this out. So like division 1, we can read this division 1 to division 3. Reimbursements will be capped at a 10% variance if your true project costs on these line items vary by greater than 10%. Budget reporter is your responsibility to pay this cost out of pocket. So for you, were you even gonna have us cover your permits or no?
No, I'm gonna take that off actually.
Yeah, we could take that off.
Go ahead.
We could leave it because now you're at 67,000, huh?
Yeah. So I was gonna mess with the numbers a little bit here. Like
Yeah.
framing, I put 7,000. It might not be that.
What I would do is you could leave it there and then subtract out 7,000 from something else. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know they're gonna pull so there's a reason you do that. If we know you're gonna pull permits here, then they're gonna say, oh, how come there's no budget for permits? And you're gonna say, oh, because I'm gonna pay for that out of my own pocket, right? Typically, when you're working with hard money lender, they want to see all the costs associated with the property because that's gonna, for them, they're like, they want to see, well, what other work are you doing? Like, what other work don't we know of, right? And they kind of want to see where the money's going, where all the money's going. So I'm more so even though, let's say that's going to be $8,600, we applied for 60 grand here.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is take 7,400 away from something else.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I still have to finish the plumbing, electrical, does the appliances even, like I have to put all that too? Basement finishes.
So this is going to be up to you. Where, like, remember, you get paid out dependent on what you want to get paid back, like when you want to get paid back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and how they is like division 1, that's, hey, this is the first payment. Division 2, that's the second payment, basically.
It's more like, hey, we can't even talk about number 2 until we take care of everything in number 1.
Got it.
So that they're just kind of separating this out. Like a 10% variance, that means like if you put 8,600 and this comes back to be like 20 grand, like that's on you, right? We're only going to take 10% difference of 8,600.
Yeah.
So this is more like for you to just be aware of changes to any of these categories after loan closes requires approval prior to work starting. Let's see, you're going to do new roof, right?
Yeah. So see, like this one, I know I want it excessive, but I should adjust that as well, right? I think it's going to be more like 10 grand.
For exterior and siding or for the roof?
For the roof.
It's up to you, right? If you don't get a few things, you're not going to get charged for anything you don't use in terms of the interest rate, right? So you don't start getting charged for the interest until you pull the money out. So let's say, I mean, dude, last time I did a deal, I used 85,000 of rehab, but I only ended up using maybe 65,000 of it, and I didn't even do the other draw.
So say even though I spend a little more on something else, that's still fine, right? As long as I don't exceed the 60 that you guys are giving me, or no?
Yeah, I mean, they just only whatever we put here, that's what you're gonna get for the finished work. If you want to put your own buffer, I can resubmit. Like we have some numbers to play with. If you wanted me to resubmit with 67,000, so you have some buffer, like that's cool too.
No, I think I want to adjust a couple numbers here, like as far as like, so my other question is like, hey, it's like framing. Framing is, even though it's plywood, the roof is one thing, and then plywood is the like part of the framing. So I think I'm kind of adding it to the roof stuff, right? I would say. It
depends on where you want to get paid at. So like if you're going to do other framing inside the house or like then, and it's separate, we just have to, and I would just write it in here. So you told me new roof and you want me to put like framing of blah, blah, blah. Like let's type it in here. So that way you're going to get paid for the new roof and the framing of whatever on this line item.
New roof with family room and kitchen framing. That's what it is.
So as long as we put it in here, like family room and kitchen framing, I mean, I don't know, the square feet, or can we be a little bit more descriptive? It's just
Yeah.
like it to what is considered done. Like, I think that's when would you say this line item is completed? So new roof with family room and
What?
kitchen framing.
Yeah.
So
Once it has the new roof, basically framing is completed with the roof. And I appreciate you helping me out with this, Fernando. Thank you.
yeah, for sure. Because I just want to make sure you get paid.
No, I
I want to make
appreciate that,
sure I want to make
dude.
sure you get all the money back, dude. Let's do it. What do we say? New roof framing for kitchen
And family room.
and dining room will be completed when
No, family room, no dining.
oh, family room, my bad.
Yeah.
Family room will be completed once roofing is done. Right. This will be
Yeah.
at the same time. This will be the same time and on the same line item. All right. Cool.
And then for exterior, it doesn't need any exterior work, as far as like paint, or is that what they mean, like stucco?
Yeah, any of that stuff. It's up to you. They kind of guide you with this
Yeah.
template, but we get to say like, what is this? What are we including here? New stucco, repair and paint, repair and power wash, new siding completely.
No. I mean, just paint. I put 2,500 just because of the paint the exterior of the house.
Okay, we'll just put repair and paint.
Yep. Okay. And
Now,
then
now are you gonna do every section? So this is like what I mean. You're not just gonna paint a part of the house and like request
that's
a
it.
draw. You're gonna paint the whole house, right?
The whole house. Yes.
Right.
Exterior. Yeah.
Cool, because that's just an example where like you want to do a section. Here we're gonna say it's gonna be the whole, like assuming this says the whole house, and if you do a
Yeah.
section, you only get paid for that section. You're not get paid for like the whole thing, right? Okay, cool. But if you're cool with doing the whole house, we'll do the whole house. All right,
Yeah.
windows.
All brand new windows.
Place all windows. And how many windows are there?
I believe it was.
Does this one include the second unit, right? It's only the first unit, or is it including the second unit
Oh,
as well?
no, only the first unit.
Yeah, something that just a small thing, right? Like one thing I wouldn't want to happen is they go and walk the property and they're like, "Hey, you only replaced half the windows."
Yeah, it's gonna be all of them, all the main house. One,
All the front
two,
house, right?
three.
How is the front and back house denoted? Are they like halves? Are they unit ones, unit A?
No, they just have their own address.
What's the address of the front house? What's the number?
3143, and I do not know the one for the back.
And the other one's 3141.
I don't know the back address actually.
All right, leave it.
I
We'll
could
just
get
say
it.
front
I could
house.
get it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it front house. I think that's descriptive enough. All right, garage, driveway.
No, not none of that.
Okay, so then this one, how come this one is 7,000 for framing? What do you want to put here?
So let's cut down on that one now because I'm just doing the rafters on this. So basically just um that's gonna be the family room and kitchen framing.
But didn't you include that over here with the roof and gutters?
No, just new roof we put.
Oh shoot, I put notes that framing for kitchen and family room will
I
be
think
with
we
that.
put that up on the description. Okay, so we could do that. We could get rid of the framing there and then just leave it with the roof, right?
Yeah, so that means leave it 12,000 over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we'll
dude.
get
I
rid of
mean,
the framing here. Yep.
you guys want to do if you want to do that, that's so this will go to 0.
Yeah. But then you put 0 on that one on the framing.
Right, because we're adding it in here. We're adding
Oh,
it
on top.
item.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
is that equal 12,000? So for the new roof with the framing, that's 12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're right there, dude. 60,000, 60.
Cool. All right.
Finished carpentry. So what work is that?
Basically just new doors and drywall work. Yeah, just new interior doors with drywall work.
Okay, replace all doors. Are you doing the trims as well, baseboards?
Yeah.
When you request, and I'm checking back in here, when you do this, when you replace all the doors, the trims, baseboards, and drywall work, that's we're labeling this as one line item. So
Yeah.
So to get the full 5,000, this whole entire thing has to be completed. Is that right?
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Sheetrock insulation.
So sheetrock will be the drywall. We already added on the finished carpentry.
Yeah, good one, good one. Use sheetrock and insulation. So this will be.
Oh, we do need insulation actually before the carpentry.
I would separate them then. So how much
Okay.
do you think this would
So
be?
let's cut the cost in half, 2,500 and 2,500.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. For the whole thing, new paint throughout interior.
Interior, yeah.
Okay, so what are we doing with the flooring?
New flooring throughout the whole house.
Is there different types of flooring gonna be? Is it all gonna be the same type of flooring, or do you have tile and wood?
No, all laminate wood flooring.
All right, what about the kitchen?
New kitchen, new cabinets, new island.
New island. I mean, new everything, right? New appliances, right?
Yeah, the
I
appliance.
guess
The appliance.
appliances.
I think there's a line for appliances.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, bathrooms.
Uh, New showers and new vanities
What about toilets?
and new toilet too.
And does the vanity include the sink and the faucet and all of that as well? Is that
Yeah,
typically
yeah,
cool? And this is a two bath.
yes. Oh, just front unit. Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just don't want any possible questions coming up like, you know, you didn't
Yeah,
complete you didn't complete it in both units or something.
yeah.
All right, plumbing work. So if this is work that you're gonna do right afterwards or whatever, then we don't have to include it. We just say there's no plumbing work.
Well, yeah, the plumbing is already included with the bathrooms anyways, so that's the only plumbing it needs. Kitchen, just like to connect the faucet, the sinks and all that. So no plumbing then.
Okay. What about the
Yeah,
electrical? You did call out the electrical though.
yeah, electrical does have to be addressed. Gonna get new electrical, new box. I think that's gonna be like 4 grand for that. Then HVAC, just new ducting.
And we're
I
doing
think
is it gonna be a whole new electrical system?
yeah. Yes, new panel,
Yeah.
new electrical panel. Good thing my dad's an electrician.
You got the hookup. All right.
Yeah.
HVAC work, we said none. Appliances.
Ducking, does ducking count for the HVAC? No, huh?
Actually, I would put it there. Let me see.
Because we put it on the top.
Yeah, if you put
Uh,
it on the top, then no. Where do we put it at?
on the description, I mean,
Oh, we did.
just AC, just
We put in the miscellaneous over here,
okay.
just so we don't have to, because because you're not doing any of this work. Yeah, we'll just put it over here. So we said new.
AC ducking.
Is that how you spell ducking? But this is only for
No
front,
AC.
right?
Was that? Yeah, front unit.
And how much is that?
Shoot. I think that's gonna cost me about 2 grand. I don't
Uh,
have to include appliances, do I?
no, I think that's you can get we can just say like those are going to be donated or something.
Yeah,
So
tenant will provide.
yeah, that's true. The yard, nothing.
Nothing. No.
All right, man, that's it. It's pretty chill, right?
Dude, this is awesome.
Sweet. Any questions before we finish up here? But I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so then you want me to put in a request for the other 6,360, or do you just want to adjust $6,000 across all of these? So like new roof, we could do 10,000. You know what I mean? Like we could start to shave off some from all of this, so that this number drops to 60.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Well, I have the permits in there still.
Right. So then we can just drop this permits to 5,000. You still want to show if you're going to pull permits, you still want to show that you're pulling permits.
Okay, cool.
So what are you going to get? Architect structure? No. What kind of permits are you getting?
Yeah, it's gonna be architectural and basically design.
Okay. So that'll be 5,000, and then this one here, make that 10,000, and then this one will make 2,350. There we go. Cool.
Yeah, I think that puts us where we want to be at, right?
Yeah, perfect. And then you can figure out, right? Since remember how hard money works is you're going to have to front the money, right?
Yeah.
Initially, and then you get reimbursed. So
Mhm.
we can talk about that, right? What work do you want to get done first to be reimbursed on?
So it's gonna be permits and demolition.
Okay. And
Uh roof.
Okay, cool. So since you want to be reimbursed on this one as well, because I would want you to be reimbursed early. If you think this is going to be 8 grand, for example, and I want
Yeah.
you to be reimbursed early for that money, then
Mhm.
I'm gonna drop this to like 6 grand. Maybe I'll drop this one to 7 grand, and I drop that one to 7 grand. You see what I did there? So
Oh,
that
oh,
that,
gotcha.
that way, if I know you're gonna need more money up front, right, then I want to reimburse you for more money up front.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. So that's good.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, those are the biggest. The rest is smaller items. Cool. Hey, Fernando. So any additional work that I do to the back unit, I'm good to do so, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that on
Like
your.
just because I'm gonna, remodel that one, just like light stuff, but I got that covered just so it shows well for the tenant.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. As long as I'm gonna. Are you good on this? We good on the front work?
Yeah,
All right, man. Thanks, dude. This was good. So this
awesome.
was a session going through a rehab template scope of work that usually all hard money lenders will require. And Rudy was grateful enough, was good enough to let us run through this scenario together. So if you liked it and you got value from this, go ahead and drop a comment, give Rudy some love, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one.